All right, great day, everyone. I'm going to try to get through this little bit of a study as quickly as possible. This has been on my mind since last week at this time, and I just been dwelling on it through the week, and just finally had a chance this morning to kind of sit down and put a few things together, and I trust that some of y'all might get uh, blessed out of it as it has blessed me to do this study. So here we go. Revelation 14 through 16. And I looked, and I saw a white cloud, and sitting on the cloud was one like the son of Adam, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another messenger came out of the dwelling place, crying with a loud voice to the one sitting on the cloud, Send your sickle and reap, because the hour has come for you to reap, because the harvest of the earth is ripe. And the one sitting on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. So today's study, I wanted to look at the cloud and to see exactly what the cloud is. So the Greek Strong's number is G3507. It's pronunciated, looks like Nephilim. It means properly cloudiness, that is concretely a cloud. Concretely means without a doubt it's a cloud. So whether that cloud is literal or figurative, I think this little study will bear it out. So if we go to the etymology we have here on cloud, we can read the modern sense: rain cloud, mass of evaporated water visible and suspended in the sky, is a metaphoric extension that begins to appear circa 1300 in southern text based on similarity of cumulus clouds and rock masses. Found that interesting, rock masses. So in Middle English, sky also originally meant cloud. And if you get down to the last paragraph here, we have meaning cloud-like mass of smoke or dust. Smoke or dust. So as I was going through this study, I came across something. So I want to revert back to this dust, mass of dust. So here we have in Psalm 68, 34, 35, I believe we're going to see a symbolic meaning of clouds. It's not literal clouds. It's a symbolic of what clouds can be. And let's see what Psalm 68, 34, and 35 could say the clouds are. So it says here, ascribe strength to Elohim, which Elohim is the Almighty, our Creator. So that's just the Hebrew pronunciation of it. His excellence is over Yisrael, which is Israel, and his strength is in the clouds. O Elohim, awesome from your set-apart places, the El of Israel is he who gives strength and power to his people. Blessed be Elohim. So his strength is in the clouds, and then you come down to the second verse, and it says he gives strength and power to his people. So symbolically, those clouds are his people in this particular verse, in the context of it being given here. The people are the clouds. And then Hebrews 78:34, that clouds there is Hebrews 78:34, Shachak or Shachach, Shachak. I don't do Hebrew very well, but anyway, here's the meaning: a powder, as beaten small, by analogy, a thin vapor, by extension, the firmament. And then you see in these other definitions, cloud, small dust, heaven or sky. So we have both of these here. We have dust here, and then we have sky here, also being originally clouds. So here we have in the Hebrews definition, Strong's definition here, you can see that. So I found a verse actually that lets you know that cloud, the same Strong's number, H7834, is here in Isaiah 40:15. So see, nations are as a drop in a bucket and are reckoned as a dust on the balance. See, he lifts up lifts up isles as fine dust. So nations are as a drop in a bucket and are reckoned as dust. So nations can also be symbolic of dust. So that dust here is the same Hebrew word for cloud. So that could be reckoned as a cloud on the balance. Then if you see here in 2 Peter 2:17 and also Jude 1:12 and 13, this is talking about false teachers, false prophets, and you see how it also infers that clouds are people also. But in these two verses here, in this type of sense, they're not good clouds. These are fountains without water, clouds driven by a storm, to whom the blackest darkness is kept forever. So Peter is speaking about false apostles or false prophets and false teachers here. Then if you get to Jude 1:12-13, you read here, these are rocky reefs in your love feast, feasting with you, feeding themselves with fear, waterless clouds, borne about by the winds, late autumn trees without fruit, twice dead, pulled up by the roots, wild waves of the sea foaming up their own shame, straying stars from whom blackness of darkness is kept forever. So just here in June, we have multiple symbolic language going on here. It calls these false teachers rocky reefs. You know, they're rocky reefs in your love feast, feasting with you. So you allow these people to come in and feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. So they have no fear of Yahuwah. They don't revere him. So that's why they're waterless clouds borne about by the wind. So just wherever the wind blows, that's where they go. They're also symbolic of trees, late autumn trees without fruit. So they're considered fruitless trees. We're actually going to have a Zoom meeting tonight that's going to talk about showing you'll know them by their fruits. So that's going to be our Zoom meeting tonight. So here we go. We got autumn trees without fruit, twice dead, pulled up by the roots, wild waves of the sea, twice dead. Again, the second death, that's what you can't suffer. The first death you can, but the second death, you don't want to suffer that. Wild waves of a sea foaming up their own shame. So they're even looked at as wild waves of the sea foaming up on their own shame. Straying stars for whom blackness. So even teachers can be considered stars. So that's symbolic language there, guys. So anytime you see the clouds, just want you to start being aware, start looking that up and looking at the context of what's being spoke of. It could be literally a cloud that you can physically see, and like you see above us, or like a cloud of fog that you see some early mornings. It could be that. So just look at the symbology of this language. It's wonderful. It just really opens up the Word of Yah for you, the Scriptures from Genesis to Revelation. It just he tells us in Psalm 78:2 that he speaks in parables. So that's symbolic language. When he speaks in parable, it means he's using symbolism. Instead of calling them people, he calls them clouds. So through doing this study, I kind of came across this when I got to initially I was looking at the Revelation 14, 14 through 16 here, and that looked like a harvest there because, again, it was talking about reap because the hour has come for you to reap because the harvest of the earth is ripe. So there you go. We've got a harvest there. So that got me thinking about harvest. So for anybody that doesn't know, there's 3 harvests in a year. So out of all the festivals of Yahuwah, in Leviticus 23, if you go to Leviticus 23, that tells you the festivals of Yahuwah. It talks about the Sabbath, and then it talks about, Passover and all the other festivals. Well, the Passover and the midsummer festival, Shavuot, people call Pentecost. They call it the Feast of Weeks or the Feast of Harvest. That's the second harvest, and then you have the final harvest, late late summer, early winter harvest, you have that third harvest there. So with my understanding over the last, that I've come to realize over the last year and a half, after being tremendously humbled in speculating about our future events in this world, I took Matthew 24 and just let it twist up what it really intended to be saying to us. So if we look here at Matthew 24:30, we'll see, or we can read, and then the sign of the Son of Adam shall appear in the heaven, and then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn, and they shall see the Son of Adam coming on the clouds. So there you go. Again, we have clouds, and I didn't highlight that with the marker, of the heaven with power and much esteem. So the Son of Adam coming on the clouds. If we continue on, we got Matthew 26:64. Now this is Yahushua speaking to the council that was trying him. And again, I'm going to make some corrections here while I'm doing this, just to get it put in that extra ooh there, wah, some people say. Yahushua said to him, you have said it. Besides, I say to you, from now on you shall see the Son of Adam sitting at the right hand of the power and coming on the clouds of the heaven. So again, we have clouds there. And I want to point out here, as he's speaking to the council, while they're trying him, this is right before they gave him up to be imprisoned and then be sacrificed. Basically they're to them murder. But he says, from now on you shall see the Son of Adam. So that meant from that time then, it said the Son of Adam sitting at the right hand of the power and coming on the clouds of the heaven. So keep that in mind, guys. And then if you look, basically this is Mark 13:26 and Mark 14:62. They basically say the same things as Matthew. It's just Mark writes them a little bit differently, and we'll read here. And then they shall see the Son of Adam coming in the clouds with much power and esteem. Again, I failed to highlight the clouds there. And Yahushua, let me correct that. Sorry, guys. I wanted to get this out before we have company coming over, and I wanted to be prepared for our company. My wife has invited about 12 people over today for a fellowship, and this happens to be our 8th day Sabbath. So anyway, we've got a lot of people, so I'm trying to get this video done before they get here. So Mark 14:62, and Yahushua said, I am, and you shall see the Son of Adam sitting at the right hand of the power and coming with the clouds of the heaven. And Luke 21:27 actually repeats what Mark and Matthew say here. And then they shall see the Son of Adam coming in a cloud with power and much esteem. So if we look at that at the first harvest, for anybody that studied this out, especially with the Olivet Discourse Decoded that has been presented to me over the last year and a half, the writer and researcher on that was David Wilcoxon, has put multiple things together. But Matthew 24 and Mark 13 and Luke 21, where everybody thinks this is a future tribulation, the great tribulation that occurred happened in 70 AD. So if you go to Matthew 24:34 or Mark 13:30, or if you go to Luke 21:32, you will see that he was speaking to that generation, which a generation scripturally is 40 years. So he basically said this in 30 AD as the way I see it in the year he spoke this. And then by 70 AD, all these things that he had said happened. The temple was destroyed. The symbology of the sun, moon, and stars, which was that priestly order that was running things at the time. Of course, the adulterated priestly order that was running things, and the council and the rabbis and such, where they had basically taken the word of Yahuwah and basically started their own traditions and such. So these things all happen within 70 AD. So To me, that could be very well the first harvest. Could be symbolic of the first harvest as the festivals that we keep. Then if you look at Revelation 14:14 through 16 again, where it talks about he was sitting on a cloud, was like the son of Adam. He had a head of golden crown. Had a head on his head was a golden crown, in his hand a sharp sickle. And another messenger came out of the dwelling place, crying with a loud voice to the one sitting on the cloud, send your sickle and reap, because the hour has come for you to reap, because the harvest of the earth is ripe. And the one sitting on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. So I will delay on talking about the second harvest here, but anyway, I just want to say that word "sitting" here is Greek Strong's numbers 2521, kathamai, and anyway, figuratively, to remain, reside, to dwell. So sitting on a cloud, it says it 3 times here in each verse. It says sitting on a cloud, on the cloud. It means to remain, reside, dwell. So if we look at John 14:23, I believe he really lays it out here for, or it's actually Yahushua laying it out here as far as it says, if anyone loves me, he shall guard my word, and my Father shall love him, and we shall come to him and make our stay with him. So this stay is an abode, a residence. So reside, residence. He makes our stay. So when he's sitting on the clouds, again, symbolically, that is him residing with his people, with his set apart ones. That's what sitting on the clouds symbolically means to me. I see that at the second harvest, because if you go to this website, and I'll put it in the information box below on this video, but if you'll look at what David Wilcoxon's website has to offer here on Revelation 14, the Protestant Reformation harvest, and how it ties in, how Revelation 14 has already occurred, and it was the beginning of the Protestant Reformation, when a lot of people that were lost in Catholicism came out of her at that time, and they gained their salvation by coming out of the Catholicism and that mystery Babylon. So I kind of saw the second harvest with this, and then now we just have to wait on this third harvest, which is the great harvest before that wedding festival. So that's our third harvest there. So anyway, I pray that this has been a blessing to you as much as it has to me. I'm really enjoying looking at the scriptures between Genesis and Revelation now, especially with the confirmation of the deity of who the Word is for me. And so everybody have a blessed day. If you're keeping the Sabbath day, have a great Sabbath day. And if not, y'all be blessed also. Hallelujah.